Hello everyone, this is Saita Javeria. In this video, we are going to learn about web programming using HTML. The topic is all about presentational elements of HTML. Starting with the introduction of HTML. HTML is defined as a markup language. A markup language is simply a way of annotating a document in such a way to make the annotations distinct from the text being annotated. The term comes from the days of print, when editors would write instructions on manuscript pages that might be revision instructions to the author or copy editor. XHTML. It is an extension of XHTML. The goal of XHTML with its strict rule was to make page rendering more predictable by forcing web authors to create web pages without syntax errors. To help web authors, two versions of XHTML were created. That is XHTML 1.0 strict and XHTML 1.0 transitional. The strict version was meant to be rendered by a browser using the strict syntax rules and tag support described by the W3C HTML 1.0 strict specification. The transitional recommendation is a more forgiving flavor of XHTML and was meant to act as a temporary transition to the eventual global adoption of XHTML strict. Elements and attributes. HTML documents are composed of textual content and HTML elements. An HTML element can contain text, other elements, or can be empty. It is identified in the HTML document by tags. HTML elements can also contain attributes. An HTML attribute is a name equal to value. The value pair that provides more information about the HTML element. In XHTML, attribute values had to be enclosed in quotes. In HTML5, the quotes are optional. Here is what HTML lets you do. It helps in inserting images using the image tag, create links using an alphabet A tag, creating lists with the UL, OL, and LI tags. Also helps in creating headings with H1, H2, and any number of H followed with a numeric value. Also helps in define metadata with meta tag and much more. Here is an example given, in which a link is specified by using opening link tag and a closing link tag, in which the alphabet A is an element name and the link given with a double quotes is an attribute and it is closed by a closing link tag. Nesting HTML elements. Often an HTML element will contain other HTML elements. In such a case, the container element is said to be a parent of the contained or child element. Any elements contained with the child are said to be descendants of the parent element. Likewise, any given child element may have a variety of ancestors. Hierarchy of elements is shown, where body tag is the parent of the p tag. P refers to the starting of the paragraph. The paragraph tag is followed by heading and a division tag, where heading and a division tag are the sibling of the p tag. In the below representation, we can see body as the parent and having a children p tag, h1 and a division tag. Descendants are considered from top to bottom and the ancestors are considered from bottom to up. In order to properly construct a hierarchy of elements, your browser expects each HTML nested element to be properly nested. That is, a child's ending tag must occur before its parent's ending tag, which you can see in this example. H1 is a parent tag and a strong is a child tag. Child tag is closed before the parent tag. Closing parent tag. HTML add head and body. HTML5 does not require the use of HTML head and body. However, in XHTML they were required, and most web authors continue to use them. The HTML element is sometimes called the root element as it contains all the other HTML elements in the document. HTML pages are divided into two sections, the head and the body, which correspond to the head and the body elements. The head contains descriptive elements about the document. The body contains content that will be displayed by the browser. Inside the head, you will notice the head element contain a variety of additional elements. The first of these is the meta element. Our example declares that the character encoding from the document is UTF-8, Unicode Character Set. Our example specifies an external CSS style sheet file that is used with this document. It also references an external JavaScript file. Headings. The browser has its own default styling for each heading level. However, these are easily modified and customized via CSS. Headings are semantically accurate. In practice, specify a heading level that is semantically accurate. Do not choose a heading level because of its default presentation. Example, using H3 because you want your text to be bold and 16 pt. Rather, choose the heading level because it is appropriate. Example, choosing H3 tag because it is a third level heading and not a primary or secondary heading. Paragraphs. Paragraphs are the most basic unit of text in an HTML document. Notice that the p tag is a container and can contain HTML and other inline HTML elements. Inline HTML elements refer to HTML elements that do not cause a paragraph break but are, are a part of the regular flow of the text. Divisions. This division tag is also a container element that is used to create a logical grouping of content. The division tag element has no intrinsic presentation. It is frequently used in contemporary CSS based layouts to mark out sections. Using division tag elements. HTML5 has a variety of new semantic elements, which we will examine later. The elements can be used to reduce the confusing mass of division within within DIVs that is so typical of temporary web design. Sorry, it's division within divisions that is so typically of contemporary web design. Inline text elements. Inline elements do not disrupt the flow of text, that is, cause a line break, which is shown as time small and strong tag. HTML5 defines over 30 of these elements. Example a break and strong tag. HTML5 semantic elements. One sustainable problem with modern pre-HTML5 semantic markup. Most complex websites are absolutely packed solid with division elements. Unfortunately, all these division elements can make the resulting markup confusing and hard to modify. Developers typically try to bring some sense and order to the division chaos by using ID or class names that provide some clue as to their meaning. Header and footer. Most websites pages have a recognizable header and footer section. Typically, the header contains the site logo, title, followed with additional subtitles or taglines, horizontal navigation links, and one or two horizontal banners. The typical footer contains less important material, such as smaller text versions of the navigation, copyright notices, information about the site's privacy policy, and Twitter feeds or links to other social sites. Both the HTML5 header and footer element can be used not only for page headers and footers, they can also be used for header and footer elements within other HTML5 containers such as article or section, and can be shown in this example. Heading groups. The H group element can be used to group related headings together within one container, as seen in this example. H group is the child of the header and the article. Navigation. The navigation element represents a section of a page that contains links to other pages or to other parts within the same page. Like the other new HTML5 semantic elements, the browser does not apply any special presentation to the navigation element. The navigation element was intended to be used for major navigation blocks, presumably the global and secondary navigation systems. As we can see the example, the navigation tag is used inside the header tag and the links are given inside the navigation. And lastly, we have articles and section. The article element represents a section of content that forms an independent part of a document or a site. For example, a magazine or newspaper article or a blog entry. The section element represents a section of a document, typically with a title or a heading. And this is the end of the video. I hope you got to know some information about the elements of HTML, and thank you for watching.